Today we will be creating this website which would be able to detect whether the user is online or offline. Hello there. Let's say you have a website which involves a lot of downloading. In that case, you want the user to know when the user is offline or online, and that is what we are exactly gonna do in this video. Alright, so we'll get started with a simple HTML file. I'm just gonna name that to be index. We'll also get started with a JavaScript file, index.js, and then finally index.css as well. So we have the three files set up. We can just get started real quickly. I'm just gonna say an exclamation mark and then set the title of the HTML file to be network detector. Alright, getting started, we'll start with a nice small division. And inside this division, we'll have a h1 tag. And that's really it. You can just say this to be sample. Now whatever you specify inside these h1 tags will not matter, because after some time we will set the JavaScript to change to either online or offline depending on the status of the network. So whatever you specify right now doesn't matter as such. We'll get started with specifying the class names of the tags which we have right here. In this case we'll say status, and then we'll say the class of the division which we have to be let's say app. So once we have all the tags set up, we can get started with scripting. Now short note, you can get started with the JavaScript just in between these two tags. It doesn't matter as such, but in our case we already have a JavaScript file which we have right here, so we'll link the script tag to the JavaScript file. And once we have that done, we can just get started with the JavaScript. Now in JavaScript we can start with a function, and you can name the name of the function as anything you want, and this will be either on or off, online or offline basically. I'm just gonna say online, on, and then curly brackets. I'll start off with a constant with the name element is equal to document dot query selector and then dot status, because dot status is, by the way, just the class name right here. So when we are saying this, we are actually referring to this right here. So once we have mentioned that, I'm just gonna say if on element dot class list dot remove offline, element dot class list dot add online, element dot inner text. So once you have all of that done, you can get started with the else statement, which is element dot class list dot remove online, and then finally just say element dot class list dot add offline. Okay, so once that is done, we can say element dot inner text is equal to offline. So if you are online, all of these commands will be called. It will remove offline, it will add online, and then it will set the element dot inner text, which is basically this right here. So you are basically setting the text to be online. So that is what it's going to do. And the same thing here with offline. Once that is done, we can go with the window. We'll say window dot add event listener, and then we'll say load, and then here we'll say network status navigator dot online. Make sure that the L in online is a capital letter. So once that is done, we can get started with the next part, which is window.add event listener load network status navigator dot on. Now go to the next line and say window.add event listener again, and then if we are online, we need this function, whatever we are going to specify in the curly brackets, to be called out. So, and in the curly brackets, we are just going to say network status is equal to true. We'll do the same thing with offline. Now, of course, before getting started, we need to first of all link the CSS file which we have right here into our HTML file. So for that, I'm just going to say rel href index.css. Now we have linked the CSS file. Now once you have the body set up, we need to go ahead and then style the rest of it. For that, I'm just gonna go with Bulma, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and then add a button, and in my case I'm gonna add a primary button. You can go ahead and then check this documentation out. In my case, I'm just gonna go ahead and then say a button because it just makes more sense. And then here I'm gonna say the color of this right here. So I'm just gonna say dot status dot online. So as we have mentioned in JavaScript right here, when the status is online, we need the color to be green, or let's say a lighter green, a green yellow. And if the status is offline, again as mentioned in JavaScript, we will say color red. Maybe red is a bit too harsh, and there you have it. If you go ahead to the website which we just made, and you can see that we have the text right here, and it is currently online, and it will be offline if I actually go offline. And you can also see that the CSS is working perfectly because the dot status is online. We can see that it's online and it's also green in color. Let's go to more tools, go to developer tools, go to network, and then say offline. And when I say offline right now, you can see that it instantly turns to red. And not only that, it's also gonna go ahead and then actually change even the text to offline. And that is how you can go ahead and then change status. And you can see I closed it just now and we are back online, and you can see we are online. And that is how you could go ahead and then create an online detector. And using this, you can literally create wonders. Let's say you have a file being downloaded and you need the website to make decisions based on whether the user is online or offline. If he or she is online, the file should be downloaded, or else don't download. And there are literally a lot of other stuff which you can do with this. So yeah, that's about it in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will meet you in the next video.